What's up, everybody? What's up, everybody? Evan DiDio here. You're watching the Evan DiDio Show, and today we're talking about the rhythm section to Let It Be by the Beatles. So stick around, because I know it's going to be great. This video is sponsored by Music on Main. Make sure you check out their website to check out all of the resources that they provide. Thank you very much. Okay, so like I said in the intro, we're talking about Let It Be by the Beatles today. We're doing the rhythm section, and this can be done on acoustic or electric. So you see my acoustic here. I'm just playing it on acoustic just because I think most people play the rhythm section on acoustic. But you can do it on either, really. In my band, I play it on electric just because we have someone else playing it on acoustic. But really, you can decide. It doesn't matter. You need a good clean setting, though, if you are doing it on electric, until the solo, which I'm coming out with a video on that next week. So make sure you subscribe and then hit the little bell so you get notified. Let's get into the video. Alright, so we're starting off with the verse. Now I believe there are like 3 different parts to this song, and we're going to go through all 3. It's the verse, the chorus, and really the instrumental. Those are pretty much the only parts that you need to focus on. But let's go ahead and dive into the verse. We're also going to be talking about the way you should strum, the chords. If you're mostly a beginner, this is a great song because there are a lot of kind of harder chords that you can learn, and it's great to get into the bar chord shapes and really just like wet your feet. Dip your toes into the water a little bit, you know. So our first chord is going to be the C major chord. You can just play it like a regular C. And then next we're going over to a G chord. Now remember, I'm going to be going through these chords kind of quickly, so if you need to pause it, rewind, or even slow it down, there's a setting in YouTube to slow it down. So make sure you do whatever you can to get this down. So after the G, we go down to the A minor. Then we go over to an F. Now I'm going to briefly explain this. It's not really a bar chord, it's just another shape for a bar chord. Pretty much the same thing, you're just not barring with your first finger across all of the strings. You take your first finger and bar across the B and E string, the first and second string. You take your second finger and put it on the second fret of the G string. You take your third finger and put it on the third fret of the A string. Then you take your fourth finger and put it on the third fret of the D string. Now, if you'd like, you can use your thumb to hit the low note. You can if you'd like to. If you're a beginner, I highly suggest just getting this chord shape down because it's a very fundamental basis for bar chords. And then later you can get into more trickier stuff like using your thumb as the bottom note. It makes it sound a little more full. So far we have now, throughout the song, we pretty much have the same strumming pattern. So I'll just go ahead and briefly describe it. So the way we're doing this is we're strumming down on each beat. So 1, 2, but after the second strum of each chord, we're going to do 2 scratches while we're transitioning to the next chord. So it's now that was highly exaggerated, don't do it like that. It's really just a simple like that. So let's continue on in the verse. Remember that strumming pattern is the basis throughout the entire song. So after that F, let's go ahead and play through what we have so far with the strumming pattern now that we have that down as well. 1, 2, ready, go. Alright, so now we're getting into the next part of the verse. It starts with a C, sticking with the same strumming pattern, go down to a G, and then the next little part here we're going to find through a lot of the song. Really all these chords, the verses are the same chords for each verse, so I won't go through each individual verse, but the chorus has the same chords, the instrumental has the same chords, the solo is just the chords for the verse. I mean, it's pretty much repeated over and over again, but it still has a lot of variety, which I think is really cool to be able to find a song with a lot of the same chords, but a lot of variety. This next part is found throughout pretty much all of the song. It kind of feels a little churchy. I don't know if that's a word or not. So what we're playing here is an F. We go down to a C, D minor, C. So F, now it is played a lot faster than that. It's so you hold the F out a little bit longer than the C, D, C. And that's a great transition into the chorus, so let's get into that. Now you can see I added a little bit of extra strums there, which once you get the strumming pattern down, you can play around with it, make it your own. But I suggest just, especially if you're a beginner, just start off with the regular strumming pattern. So the first chord in the chorus is the A minor. Same strumming pattern. And then our next chord is the C over G. Now, you can play a regular C if you'd like, but I like using my thumb, or you can even do this if you'd like, using your third finger to play the low G. I like to use the thumb though, just because it's a little easier. I really like the way it makes it sound. That's just my opinion. So A minor. It's on the 3rd fret of the low E string with your thumb. To an F. To a C. Alright, so let's go ahead and play through what we have so far. 1, 2, ready, go. And next we keep the C a little bit longer. We're still doing the scratch, it's just real strums. It's not really a scratch because we're not changing chords, so we're not really needing to scratch at all. And then it goes down to a G, F, C, D, C. It's that same thing we talked about in the verse. So let's go ahead and play through the whole chorus real quick. 1, 2, ready, go. And then it goes into the second verse, then it goes into another chorus, which all of these are the same chords. So after the second chorus, we have an instrumental that comes up 3 times. The first instrumental happens twice, and it's starting off with that chord progression I told you about that happens all throughout the song. Now this is the part where I think, especially if you're a beginner, you might have a little trouble with it, but it's definitely worth it to get down. So I'm going to explain all the chords to you, because we've got some bar chords we're playing here. And I know you can do it. It's a really nice way to transition into the guitar solo, which I'm coming out with a video a week from now. Yes. So the chords are F, C, D, C. It's that same progression again, but now instead of going into another part of the song, we're going to a B flat. Now this is in a second position bar chord. First position would be up here, but we're playing it down here. So your first finger bars across from the A string down to the B string. Now you can hit the E string if you like, but we're not playing the E string in this chord, so you kind of just mute that automatically with your fingers anyway. and then your third finger bars across from the 3rd fret of the D string, from D to G to B, all on the 3rd fret. That's a B flat chord. So that's our first chord. So remember to rewind if you need more help on this chord. I'm going to be coming out with a video on bar chords here shortly, in a couple weeks or so from now, I believe. So make sure you subscribe and hit the little bell. So after that B flat, we're going to an F chord. Now I'm using a regular bar chord shape. You could use this as well, the same chord we were talking about earlier. But I'm using this just because I'm more used to that chord shape, and because we're going up to a G bar chord. This is pretty much just the way I do it. You can make it your own, make it a little easier to however you would like it. But I suggest, especially if you're just starting out in bar chords, it's really good to press through. And I know how much you might not like bar chords at all, but it's really good to learn, because now I really like bar chords and I use them all the time. So maybe this would be a good practice tool for you, going from the F, or F like this, up to a G, which is basically the same pattern, I guess you could say, just up a whole step, which is 2 frets. Then you come back down to the F, and then C. After that last F, it goes to the C. Okay, so let's just play through the whole instrumental. 1, 2, ready, go, and... Now it goes to that part twice, and then goes into verse chords with a solo. Then it goes into another chorus, another verse, and then another chorus. And then in the outro, it does the instrumental part again. Like that. Okay guys, so I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you again so much for watching. I really appreciate your support, so make sure you pound that like button if you found this video useful, and make sure you comment your favorite classic rock songs, or even video suggestions, whatever you'd like to see me do. Put them in the comment section. You can subscribe, hit the little bell to get notified whenever I put out new videos if you like the content, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.